let's preview.
All right.
How did you feel, by the way, as an Eagles fan, seeing this?
What, Michael Parsons?
Yeah, like we're going to talk Thursday night just to
It's
see
so
it.
terrible for Dallas, isn't it? It's really such a shame to lose such an incredible player who's so talented. I can't believe that Michael Parsons is no longer in the NFC East.
His numbers, by the way, against the Eagles were pretty good.
Yeah, I know.
And it's
against
so,
his former Penn State alum, Saquon Barkley, stopping the run.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah,
well, it's so funny because
helpful. I don't know.
like I think one of the number one reasons why the Packers did it was to specifically beat the Eagles. And you made like the point about
What?
I mean, I'm telling you,
The point.
Thanks,
I'm just
Greg.
saying like about that he's the piece that
Yeah.
takes a team that's
Exactly.
close over the top.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like you would, if you were the Cowboys, you would like Michael Parsons to be that place. But instead, now it's for the Green Bay Packers, and then we're looking at this game on Thursday night. And let's just run through injuries and who's available off the top of each game. I'm pointing that out. It looks like the Eagles will have Landon Dickerson back.
Mm-hmm.
He has a new back injury after having knee surgery just 3 weeks ago, so that's a little concerning. But he was back at practice on Tuesday. It also sounds like for the Cowboys, they have Trevon Diggs and Tyler Guyton. Trevon Diggs, their starting cornerback, who's missed the entire offseason coming off a torn ACL, and Tyler Guyton, who missed all of camp coming off of a knee injury, trending in the right direction. Really sounds like Tyler Guyton, their left tackle, will be playing. Diggs is maybe a little more, up in the air. But it's now, I'm just thinking, Colleen, about like this Cowboys pass rush, which I actually think has potential.
Yeah.
But having to go against, the Eagles tackles, like they might not look great when you don't have that one guy that can just shift everything to him.
Right. And the Eagles have such a solid offensive line and then so many weapons too. So Jalen Hurts gets all of this time, and then he can kind of pick apart the secondary. You mentioned Trevon Diggs coming back, but like you don't know what he's going to look like, even if he is out there. And, I just think that this is a really thin cornerback group, and it's a really talented passing game because of what Saquon does to set it up.
And it's A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and it's Devontae Smith who still sometimes gets slept on despite the fact that he's just one of the best receivers in the NFL. If you're going to build your receiver room out, you want that guy on your team, and certainly A.J. Brown. And like when you can attack the perimeter the way that they're still going to be able to against a thin secondary, and you're already going to give the pass rush issues, because of the capability of that Eagles offensive line. So what do you have to do? You have to get the ball out quick, right? And, you can go to the perimeter if you're Jalen Hurts. You can run the ball still or try to right up the middle. I mean, it's just, it's very, this is kind of like pick a problem because there's going to be geysers, right? Pick a problem that you can solve and try to flood that lane because there will be multiple problems.
When Philly has the ball.
Yes.
Now, the Eagles, I should have mentioned this off the top, are 8.5-point favorites. It's the NBC crew, doing the kickoff game, which I love. And that is the biggest point spread of any game this week, which is crazy.
I'm wondering how much it moved.
Yeah, I was going to ask, did it move? I don't track it.
It's moved 2 points since the Micah Parsons trade. So it already was close to being one of the biggest at 6.5. Yeah. It went up a point like right off the bat, and then everyone is just going heavy Eagles, which makes sense to me. And we will get to the Cowboys offense when they have the ball, because I think they present a lot of problems for the Eagles defense too. But staying on that side of things, like it's Matt Eberflus, and going back to what Jerry said about stopping the run and everything. It's like, you hired Matt Eberflus. He was 27th if you look at the entire tenure with the Bears in rushing EPA per play. Over 3 years, right? And like, is he going to be is he going to call his defense differently? Because it's a lot of zone. It's a lot of backing off. It's a lot of almost just giving that up. And then you look at the Cowboys personnel. I look at Jourdan Bland, who they gave a big contract extension to over the weekend, and Kyer Elam and Diggs, if they're out there. And like, those guys are more like, they're better at doing a little man. And Jerry Jones talked about trying to cook up some pass rush. Oh, Matt Eberflus says we can do that. Okay, like that would be a big change for Matt Eberflus, because if it's the defense that we've seen Matt Eberflus run, that's not his style of defense.
The problem that they might face is that for years, and this was a compliment to him, we paid him last season, even before he was fired in Chicago, is that his defenses were well built to defend the pass. And they're well built to structurally and schematically stifle and confuse the quarterback, specifically in the passing game. The problem, of course, and it's so obvious with the Eagles, is that you have the threat of the quarterback who can run at any time. You also have the threat of Saquon Barkley. And last season, the Eagles rushed for 366 yards in 2 games against the Cowboys. And he is just going to be that factor where you're going to have to bring players down that you would otherwise want in coverage against these really, really great receivers. And if you're going to manufacture pressure, you're also sending extra players who you would otherwise want in coverage against these great receivers. So it's like, pick a problem, you know?
I mean, yeah, for sure. But I'm also like, now I'm just sitting here thinking about George Pickens and CD Lamb and what they can do to this team, because you're right.
Let's get to that.
It's not just all Eagles, and they're going to be raising the Super Bowl banner, and they're going to be doing it in front of the Cowboys.
I maybe just was stubborn, and in the immediate aftermath, we like retaped this show, Daniel and I, about, drafting teams that could win the Super Bowl. And I still had the Cowboys in a spot where like they'd have a chance to make the playoffs, that I still think they could make the playoffs. I unfortunately drafted them as like one of my, top over-under picks with Nick Wright to go over 7.5. I just thought, and I still think like it's possible. And the reason is like offense matters more than defense, and quarterbacks matter more than everything. And in this matchup, you're going up. We think it's going to be Adoree Jackson as your starting outside corner. Yes. It seems like he won the job. And we think it's going to be Andrew Makuba, the rookie safety, probably getting more snaps, but Sidney Brown will be in there. So you lost a lot in terms of your pass rush, Colleen. Mm-hmm. You have some new guys out on the outside here. There are matchups, I think, that the Cowboys could take advantage of when the Eagles have the ball.
Well, for sure. But I like, you have, I like what Vic Fangio is doing with Cooper DeJean, for instance, because yes, they lost over, what was it, like 4,000 snaps on the defensive side of the ball, the Eagles, in this offseason. But Vic Fangio has the luxury of all of these rookies last year hitting and doing so well. So now those guys are in their second year, and it's like you have this young nucleus that's almost better than expected. They sort of kind of developed before everyone thought that they would. And he's moving Cooper DeJean all over the place. He just wants him on the field at all times, playing every and any position. And then Quinyon Mitchell, I think, is also going to be someone who like steps up and kind of really grows into that role.
Yeah, I think Quinyon Mitchell might be on track this season after his rookie year to be a Defensive Player of the Year candidate.
Woo,
makes plays on the ball and moves around the way that Bo and Zach, who we just had on a few weeks ago, said that they still want to keep moving Quinyon around, and Cooper, obviously, to make Cooper an unavoidable player. I think that this means that we're going to see a lot of Cooper DeJean, CeeDee Lamb, because what are they going to have CeeDee Lamb do but run after the catch, make plays after the catch, be that short, quick outlet to avoid the pressure. And that's where you're going to see Cooper DeJean crashing down all around the box in that sort of star hybrid safety position where he's helping the linebackers out, because they've got new pressure. They've got new pressure that they got to develop. They got a couple new guys on the inside, and then they've also got to manufacture pressure in different ways. And Vic loves to rush 4, but their pressure might look a little different just because of the different pieces that they've added.
Yeah, I think there's an idea too that the defense, I think, for the Eagles is going to take a step back. That it is almost built into the DNA of this team that to start the season, they should take a step back because they have a lot of younger, newer players involved, and that they'll make up for it by their offense being even better. Like the way we saw them finish the season instead of the way that they played throughout. Like, will Jalen Hurts just start throwing the ball around a little bit more? I think so. Will the Cowboys offensive line, which is very young and getting Guyton back, man, I'm excited. That's one game preview down. We have how many? 275 or something.
Greg is so excited right now.
Smiling from ear to ear.
8.5's a lot though, but I guess if I had to choose, I just feel like I love that we're going to get a lot of points in week 1 because I think this is going to be a score fest.
I can totally see it. I also think you don't really want to pass against this Eagles secondary. I think they're going to try because I was at camp a couple days. We have seen still no proof that this Cowboys team can run the ball, which you want to at least try to do to settle your offense down behind some of this reshuffled offensive line. And also, they're looking at a rookie at one of the guard spots as well. And so you're trying to settle but we don't know if they can do it. And you don't want to start up the game just pass heavy against this Eagles secondary because they're gonna. Well, if you're the Cowboys, you don't want to do this.
I feel like they do because it's their only chance. It'll be like that. Were they in that kickoff game against the Bucks and Tom Brady a while ago, which ended up going back? Everyone gets so tired in these week 1 games too that middle of third quarter on is just.
Don't you just feel like
so different?
Schottenheimer's just gonna have to go pure F it, we ball kind of mode. Yeah. He's gonna have to go, you know what? It doesn't really make sense that we're doing this, but we're gonna try it anyway because what do we have to lose?
Sometimes sloppy games have a lot of points, and that's how this feels to me. 41-27, just or 38-27, something like that, where it's very high scoring, but not
the light
that
is
close.
beaming off of Gregg's
Okay, let's take a break.
Right
This is the most optimistic I've ever heard him, I think.
I mean, not about the Cowboys anymore.
You have them scoring 27 points. That's optimism.
Oh, I think their offense is better than the Eagles' defense. Why not? I'm not optimistic about that 7.5 win.
We will revisit that next week.
Let's move on to the Friday night game. This is fun. Chiefs, Chargers. The Chiefs are 3-point favorites. They're in Brazil at Arena Corinthians. Love saying that.
Yeah.
Little surprised it's so close. A point spread, but that's given props to Chargers and the talent base that they had, and maybe looking at the games a year ago and that were very competitive. Although, as always, the Chiefs always find a way in this matchup. This is going to be on YouTube with our coworkers Rich Eisen and Kurt Warner announcing the game.
That's a good crew. That's awesome.
It's a one-time.
That's like an all-voice team, honestly. I mean, think about the voices there.
It's a one-time YouTube crew, right? Because I don't think there's another YouTube game this year. So I think it's a one-time, very unique. Will be their first game. So that will be really fun. We're taping this Tuesday afternoon. The Chargers are already on a flight down to Brazil, whereas the Chiefs practice today on Tuesday, and they're going to fly a day later. What stands out to you, Jourdan, in this game?
I mean, the possibility that Najee Harris is on that plane as well, and who told reporters this week with massive sunglasses on after this eye injury that we still kind of don't know a ton about. We can only assume. Obviously, don't want to assume the worst, but he is wearing massive sunglasses and wouldn't take them off, and he's finally back at practice, and he says that he is going to play this week. Now, they're in a really good spot behind him with Omarion Hampton, who I've heard really great things about all through camp. And he's built like every other one of their players on offense, which is the size of a sycamore tree. So it's this is the all massive human offense, and Omarion Hampton fits right in with that if Najee Harris isn't a full go.
I'm excited about that. I also just feel like with the amount of international games this year, we will be talking so much about travel schedules, who's going early, who's deciding to stay back, does it matter? I'm not sure what other ways to spin the conversation, and I don't know if it does matter or not, but I would for sure be going early as possible because, I like to travel and it's really fun. I'd like to go to more of these international games, but I'm interested to see how Travis Kelce does after the catch, if he can gain some sizable yards after the catch, considering the Chargers are such a good tackling team.
I feel like we haven't talked about Travis Kelce as a
football
entity all offseason.
Gee, I wonder why.
It is interesting to imagine because, he's talking a big game of how bad last season ended, and then he's put everything into it. He does look just physically like he's slimmed down a little bit, and he has come out the last few years looking sluggish, and he's worked his way into the season. And that worked for him for the most part in both of the last 2 years, until it didn't in the Super Bowl last year. But he did play his best games. I think people forget, in the playoffs right before the Super Bowl, their best offensive game of the season was probably the AFC Championship right before their absolute worst game. But I do think it's instructive when teams are playing the following season. It's division games. You have the same coaches. I do think that history matters. So the Chiefs played 19 games last year, not counting the week they sat all their starters at the end of the regular season. So they played 19 games last year. Their worst game on offense in terms of expected points was the Super Bowl, because they don't give you much credit for those late nonsense ones. And that was just disaster. But their 17th best game, their third worst game all season was against the Chargers. And then their 14th best game, like their sixth worst game all season, was against the Chargers. So Jesse Minter kept the lid on this offense, held them under 20 points both times.
Kept the cap on it, Greg. Remember,
I like to keep the lid on it.
So, but you know what? It's cool. This was the number one scoring defense, meaning fewest points allowed, 17.2, 17.3, something like that in the entire NFL last season. And Jesse Minter out coaching and getting this roster to sort of outperform what it looked like on paper. You mentioned Travis Kelce. Well, he's going to be having his hands full with Derwin James, who's still moving all around this defense, and with Dion Henley, who's one of the best young inside linebackers in the league and has really emerged with Jesse Minter's offense. And everyone talked about, like losing Joey Bosa, who obviously signed elsewhere in the offseason. But this pass rush still has Khalil Mack on it. And by the way, I do want to say, when I was at the practice earlier this summer, Khalil Mack looks great. You want to talk about someone who looks a little bit slimmer, who looks so fast and explosive off the line of scrimmage. It's hard to remember that he is the age that he is as a 9-time Pro Bowler. And he's going to be going against Josh Simmons or Tui Pelotu or Bud Dupree. I mean, they have the 3 rotation of these pass rushers still against this rookie left tackle who, as you know, Greg, I'm so high on. I love this guy. He's so great.
Yeah. I love that you brought that up. Khalil Mack is in some ways like the reverse Travis Kelce. It is absolutely a pattern. Every single season he shows up and is one of the best pass rushers in the league for about a month or 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and then he fades. And maybe that's an age thing because he puts everything possible into getting the most out of what he gets. But it's very consistent that every early portion of the season, it's like, wow, Khalil Mack is really back. And then he just becomes like a solid, good enough player. And maybe by the end of the season, almost like a little bit of a liability. So I am really curious if that pass rush is going to be enough against this Kansas City offensive line, which I think has really improved.
Yeah.
Like, I think the Chiefs offense will be better this year. And I think it needs to be better this year because I think their defense is not going to be as strong. All these teams, like the alchemy changes on a year-to-year basis. And I do kind of buy what the Chiefs are selling in terms of trying to be more explosive and having a better receiving group and mostly having a better offensive line with Josh Simmons there at left tackle. And this will be like an amazing first test against this Chargers.
And I love these division games between these two. They're always fun. They're always exciting. And 7 of the last 8 times they've played, it's been 1 score or less, these games. So it's always a close game. I hate a blowout week 1. And also it's like a primetime game because it's it's an island game. So yeah, I think it's a fun one for Brazil too.
I do love that we have like 2 of the best quarterbacks in football. It's obviously Pat Mahomes and Justin Herbert, but this still will be a game defined by line play on both sides because yes, I talk about the pass rush that the Chargers have, but like Chris Jones is still Chris Jones and Mekhi Becton is the newcomer on the inside in Los Angeles. And he missed 3 weeks of training camp with what he's described as an ongoing knee issue that he continues to deal with. And then Joe Alt has moved over from the right to the left, obviously because of injuries. Apparently looks really, really good. Looked good in the preseason as well, playing on that left side. But when you have Chris Jones and then you've got the Greek freak on the inside, Karlaftis also rushing with him, you can continue to move Chris Jones around. I am curious about how much he moves because they have, like I said, chippers the size of trees on the outsides and their tight ends and their fullback, Scott Matlock. So I don't know how much you want to move Chris Jones to the edge, but that middle might be a little bit more susceptible to pressure if you're the Chiefs pass rush.
It's also why they got knocked out of the playoffs last year. Harbaugh left that game saying how bad they were on the interior of their offensive line, and now it's a year later, and they mostly look the same, except they did add Mekhi Becton, but because you lose Rashawn Slater, like the offensive line doesn't look any better. And yet, I think they're in a better position. I don't know if the Chiefs have enough pass rush. It's kind of a bad pass rush on paper. Like Karlaftis is I think he's a little overrated. He's not a great pass.
Chiefs fans are going to come for you. They love that guy.
He's Justin Spags, Greg.
He's a very good NFL player, and he's a solid number 2 edge pass rusher. But on this team, he has to be number 1 in terms of the edge players. They have one real difference maker as a pass rusher, and I think they have questions in terms of their secondary in ways that they haven't over the last couple of years. So, will the Chargers be in position to take advantage?
Will they pass the ball is what Greg's really asking here.
I think they want to run, but I don't know. Like, I don't know if their receivers are that much better necessarily, the Chargers this year. But if Trey Harris, like the rookie, and Keandre Lambert-Smith,
you know that,
like step up, it's a very different Chiefs-Chargers matchup, which that'll probably end the same way that everyone ends.
I wonder if the Chargers are going to. I wonder if the Chargers are going to actually like do the same exact thing that they did last year and start off so run heavy and then finally start to like kind of ease into the passing game.
Maybe. I mean, I Justin Herbert's healthy to start this year, this time. So I almost wonder how much you use him as sort of that threat as well. You try to move the point of contact. You try to move the line of scrimmage a little bit with the quarterback. I kind of wonder what, Greg Roman has in his bag of tricks involving, like I said, and I cannot emphasize this enough, some of the largest human beings I've ever seen. Like, why? Like, they just want to smother over people. This is what this offense wants to do.
Yeah, I also just am a little anxious about counting on Keenan Allen to have a big role in this offense. Or maybe he won't. Maybe he won't end up having that big role. Is anyone taking the Chargers here? Or no?
You know what? Fine, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the Chargers. I'm going to take the Chargers.
I like that.
I like this team a lot. I'm really high on the Chargers this year.
I think I
Ask
took
me again
the
in
Chargers in our preview show, so I need to stay consistent.
That is like what someone with integrity would do.
I must go.
Or just even be aware of what you did in your previous show.
Well, there is only like 1 week here now, so it's not like I am in mid-season form and everything is blurred together.
Yes.
So I would hope that I know my week 1 picks.
Yes. Check out Colleen
Chargers
every single Sunday morning, game day morning.
Yeah. Game day morning.
There's also a preview show, which I'm sure you can watch. By the time you hear this, it might already be out Thursday night. But
that's right.
If not, check it out. I'm sure.
She's
watch it on
back.
NFL Plus. Who really knows?
She's back. And so is Mooch. Me and Mooch on Mondays.
Love that.
Yeah. So a little pregame Monday Night Football action. It's going to be great.
And Jourdan will be back with me on our preview show, which will go up on Wednesday. And we're going to do our Super Bowl picks then. But we haven't gotten yours, Colleen. Before you go, I want... Let's do conference. Give me like who wins the conference championship games, and then who wins the Super Bowl. So you have to have a Final Four.
Final Four.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I am gonna go. The Bills.
Yes.
They beat the Ravens.
Okay.
To get to the Super Bowl.
So week 1 rematch in the conference championship game. No respect whatsoever for the Chiefs.
And the Eagles beat the Lions. And
I am shocked at this pick.
The Lions, they beat the Lions. And then, I mean, it's kind of crazy, but I'm going to go ahead and pick the Eagles to win the Super Bowl again. Let's repeat.
Stunned.
I know.
It's kind of stupid not to. I mean, when you
I know, it's a good pick, honestly.
When you root for one of the favorites, I think they are the favorite. If you like, they have the best odds of any team because the NFC is viewed as a little weaker, so their path is a little easier, and more just because we're all dumb animals and
can't
just
control
pick the
who
team
you
that won
play.
last year. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Colleen's got the Eagles.
Yeah, I do.
Let's be clear. She's always got the Eagles.
The
Eagles have always got you.
Oh.
If you were a real seer, you'd be like Cynthia Freeland and have the Eagles before last season when everyone was a little down on them going into the year. And she somehow nailed Eagles over Chiefs before the season started.
So
I would never stop talking about that if I was Cynthia. And that's why I won't on our Friday pick show, which is going to be back for another season.
Seamless plug right there, Greg.
Yeah.
Nicely
done.
Good.
We're into our regular season schedule. So like I mentioned, we will be back on Wednesday for our preview show. We will be recapping both the games, the Thursday night game and then the Friday night Brazil game with Nick Shook right after both those games are over. We've done it. She's back.
Hey-oh, we're back.
Football is back.